A short story of an interaction with a legendary comedian, living or dead, you are willing to share.
Yeah, short story. Me and Paul Mooney got into it, and I called DL and I said, "Hey, I'm about to beat up Paul Mooney," and he's like, "Ali, you can't beat up Paul Mooney. He's a legend." I said, "If Paul Mooney say something else to me, I'm going to beat up Paul Mooney." We at this comedy club. I'm featuring for Paul Mooney, and I am in the green room. He comes in the side room, said, "Hey, go count the room." I said, "Excuse me." He said, "Yeah, go count the room." I, s- I said, that's not my job to count the room." And he said, "All right, all right." Then he left out, and then he came back in like 20 minutes later and said, "Yeah, you go tell your little white friend that it's sold out." He goes back in his room, and I called him. I'm like, "I think I'm about to beat up Paul Mooney because he keeps saying stuff to me." So he, I'm sitting in the showroom. His lady comes and sits next to me, and then she walks off to the green room and she leaves her purse. The show is over. So I'm coming. I don't want to leave my purse. I got a purse. I come in. I said, "Ma'am, you left your purse." Paul is like, and she snatches her purse. "Why do you have my purse?" And Paul like, "Yes, why do you have her purse?" I was like, "Yo, you know something? Y'all need to get on y'all medication. Cause y'all, man." So then 3 years later, we in Austin. This arts, black arts and collectives gets us to do a show. I have no idea who's on the show. It's like I'm doing an hour, the other person's doing an hour, and it's me and Paul Mooney. The lady, she's coming. She don't know it's tension, so she's like, "Hey, Ali, Paul Mooney's next door. If you want to go and speak." And then I had just heard her say, "Hey, Paul, Ali's next door. If you want to go speak," neither one of us is budging. Like, no. And then, so I I'm sitting in the green room. Paul comes past the room, and then he comes back and leans into the room, said, but he's not even looking at me. He's like, "Hi, Ali," and then just walks off. I'm like, I said, "Dre, was that his apology?"